Yeah, I'll always be a metalhead. Nothing can take that away from me.
Right.
I mean, not jail, not people, not religion, not anything. I'll always be a metalhead. Metalhead. You know what?
You're listening to the Great Metal Debate Podcast.
Welcome again to yet another Great Metal Debate Podcast review. October has been a stacked month with loads of underground metal album releases. Today, we'll be talking about a death metal band straight from the Bay Area of Oakland, California. I'm talking about Wroht with their second full-length album, Dissolution. I first heard of this band almost 6 months ago when they released a single titled Beyond Salvation. I was so impressed with their groovy style of death metal that I wrote a comment on their YouTube video asking the band if they had a full-length in the works. They replied to my comment and confirmed that new material was coming. I of course began following them on Facebook, and they had originally planned on releasing a full-length in August, but we ended up with the EP back in July. But then, out of the blue, they messaged me a little over a week ago with a Google Drive for their brand new album to be released 2 days later on the 18th. This of course didn't give me much time to write this review, so whenever you hear this video, it will probably be 2 weeks later. I've been reviewing a lot more albums this month than usual, and some of them have been scrapped due to time constraints. So without further ado, let's dive into this new album. Kicking things off, we have the song Blood Prison. One thing that I've already noticed about this new record is that it seems to be a compilation of all the singles that this band has been periodically releasing since February. While I had already heard all of these on the Cycle of Torment EP, it was worth listening to again, as there have been a few new additions to make it a full length. This means Blood Prison is new to me. One thing that I love about this band is how they sort of capture the same magic as the early days of Bloodbath. Ivan Peric's vocal style is very similar to a young Michael Ackerfeld. Yes, this is definitely a good thing. I think many old Bloodbath fans like myself, and even some Opeth fans, would heavily enjoy Wroht. Normally during one of these album reviews, I would discuss every single track, but we're a little behind on the podcast and I have so many more albums to get through by the end of this month. So I'm going to cut it short again, and only talk about the new songs released on the 18th. Another new song to me on this full length is The Sweet Taste of Venom. I've always liked song titles that are the first lyrics of the song. As I listen closer to the rhythm of the guitar riffs, I find myself slightly reminded of Cataclysm. It's cool how Wroht has masterfully caught the vocal essence of Swedish death metal, but have blended the groovy melodies of our Canadian neighbors up in the north. This mix feels like they have created something new. While we're still comparing this United States death metal with Swedish acts, I'm also kind of picking up on some of the catchy vibes from a band like Entrails. I also enjoy how Paul Olsen's bass riffs stand out during breakpoints of the song. There were a few other songs where the audio mixing allowed listeners like myself to really hear the reverberating bass lines. As someone who has dabbled with bass guitar myself, I truly appreciate that. Lastly, we have the album title track, Dissolution. It begins with Christian's absolutely insane blast beats. I honestly think this band has saved the best for last because, once again, Paul's bass playing is a standout. Just like with the rest of the album and the Worship Wrought debut before it, Joey and Justin play their guitars wonderfully together. Ivan's vocals are just as ferocious as ever. The softer musical moments are soothing, and it's the crushing harsh comebacks that are almost deathcore in nature with the chug riffs. I love how there's a "blah" shortly before a nice shredding guitar solo. I'll also say that this song is very long, yet you'll enjoy every second of it. Coming from someone who enjoys funeral doom, I'm no stranger to tracks that exceed 12 minutes. This is definitely one of the better underground death metal albums I have heard all year, and that's saying something because I have already listened to over 350 metal albums this year. Not even exaggerating. I'll have to go back and do a recount before Gomthog and I's End of the Year podcast episode, but it's definitely more than what I heard last year. If I were to give Dissolution a rating, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. It's truly fantastic. If you would like to show your support for Wroht, their music is available on most streaming platforms.